We are currently live streaming on YouTube. Welcome to the YouTube realm. How is everybody doing today? So, trade and trade session, we're going to be doing things kind of interesting. I'm going to kick things off for you. This is Chuck Crow over at DTI. Welcome. This session has started. If you want to follow us on social media platforms or web platforms, you can follow us at dtitrader.com/telegram or go to dtitrader.com/YouTube, where we're currently live streaming this presentation. I have with me today Tom Busby. Tom, how are you doing this morning?
I am good, Chuck. You're a little bit ahead of schedule.
Oh, I'm always ahead of schedule.
I know.
Listen,
Those people are still signing in.
Tom, when I started working, I should tell you about the guy I started working for. He was an Air Force vet, very much military minded, and the one thing that he really stressed, if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. So I learned that. You might know the guy. His name's Tom Busby, kind of
I do
similar.
know that guy. I forgot. That's right, Chuck. Remember? Yep. Uh, Folks, the markets, as you can see, is really. If you were in TNT this morning, I told people in TNT that they ought to get long, and the TQQ would be a good buy, and Nvidia was going up, and then over in Futures First, Chuck, I shared a trade I'd done on the E-mini. That's about a $700 winner right now. So, did anybody get those trades? I'm just curious. I just typed it in there early this morning when I get up and do my analysis, and I just wonder if you see it in taken. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a couple of great moves this morning, and we
yeah.
do have people in the chat responding that they were able to get that. So, yeah, uh, good job there. Now, I'm looking, Tom, over at GLD. I know you were a fan of that. It's in the newsletter, getting up to 311.84 today. So a little bit of a move there as well.
Right, and I think that Chuck's going to cover this, but the newsletter is really popular with people. Chuck, we got I think about 450 subscribers to it, but we just added something additional. Chuck on Wednesday is going to come on and do a here in Train and Trade, give a analysis of what we said and just how valuable it is. Jonathan and I put it together Monday at the close, and I've really been surprised at just how uh, accurate by waiting to Monday afternoon that it's so effective because it really sort of takes what we do Sunday night and takes it to the next level. Then you roll into trade day on Tuesday with our Connected Dots and Power program. So you're off to a good start for the week if you're part of that. But I asked Chuck to enhance the value of that newsletter because there's a lot of lessons in there each and every week, and he'll cover that when he gets there. But that's one of the things that I wanted Chuck to really drill in on because he's done it for years. He might as well share that wisdom with everybody that's reading that sucker. So take it away, Chuck, if you want to. I'll sit back and listen.
Yeah, well, we sit back and one of the big things to focus in on if you go to that newsletter, or I suppose actually before we go to the newsletter, let's say that there is a risk disclaimer here. There is a very high degree of risk involved in trading, and we've got a whole bunch of information on here. Past performance not indicative of future results. Trade at your own risk and everything that goes into that. I think that covers the risk disclaimer. If we can go on to the next slide, and what we're going to do here is 5 by 5. And what I put together last night, Tom, was how to trade earnings, which I think is the big issue because if you go to the newsletter, one of the first things addressed in the newsletter, the entire market will be focused on Nvidia earnings this week leading up to Wednesday. Now, we got a lot of stuff happening after. We got the GDP, we got the PCE Thursday and Friday. So we've got some information going on there. I mentioned GLD, which is addressed in the newsletter, market timing indicator. Go down the list. We look at the uh, uh, key news for the week. did you miss an update on the? Okay, we'll look into that for you, Ingrid. We've got a bunch of information going on, and a whole list of earnings that matter, news for the week, weekly Magic 5 stocks, and this week staying away from Tesla a little bit because, or excuse me, staying away from Nvidia a little bit because everybody's looking at Nvidia. But the weekly 5 Magic stocks: Archer Daniels Midland, Tesla, Roblox, TQQ, and SPY. This week we've got the week opens, resistance, support, triggers. By all means, guys, go and get that newsletter. It's very important. Gives you the broad spectrum to pay attention to. I mentioned earlier gold. This is the special opportunity from Tom. GLD posting up 311.55 and GLD this morning going up to 311.84. So pay close attention there. Now, want to go ahead and talk about how to trade earnings because that's going to be our big issue today. So let's go ahead and push these slides through. There are a few things that you want to pay attention to whenever you're approaching any type of trade, especially an earnings play, but anything else. Step one, do your research. There is a lot to be found out when you go back and look at the market. We're going to hit some of the highlights here today. Step two, manage risk. Risk is always important. Everybody always looks to, this is one of the first things I learned from Tom. Everybody sees the opportunity. Very few people prepare for it by managing risk. That's how most people get in trouble in the market. So have that risk management front and foremost when you're approaching any type of trading. And step three, have a plan. And this is something that just makes all the sense in the world. Guys, when you're trading, there's adrenaline. We love it. It's enjoyable. And I don't care how calm you are, there is going to be an adrenaline spike. That's part of what you do. When you get engaged, adrenaline peaks up. And what that does, that pushes the blood flow out to your extremities, right? It's a fight or flight mentality. You know where it takes blood away from? Your brain. You don't think as well once you get into the trade. So make sure you have your plan before that because that's the way it's going to work. You are smarter when you're doing your analysis than you are when you're doing your trading. That is physiological truth. So prepare for that, understand that. And listen, the drop off's not much, but it is still something that we want to make sure we have the plan in place. So let's talk about the research. Go on to our next slide here. So date and time is important. In this case, we're talking about NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is the big report. It's going to be at the end of the day, uh, after the bell, around 4:20 p.m. Eastern. Resources to go and find out that information. I like to go to two places. The bottom link here, sectorspiders.com/earnings calendar. Listen, it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it does focus me in on what I'm supposed to look at. Then you go to investing.com/earnings calendar, and that's where you sort of zero in on the time. But the sector spiders lets me know for the week what stocks I need to watch. And when it tells me Nvidia is on the list, okay, now I know where to focus. You can also find out, I think we looked at HD was on the list last week. We've got a couple of stocks that we like to follow and move through. And when you see them pop up, now we have to dig in a little bit deeper. So investing.com, earnings calendar, that's where I got the actual time from. I think that's an important thing, knowing when that's going to happen. And the beauty of the way that the markets are moving right now with after hours stocks being readily available to everybody for an extended period of time, this means that we can actually be trading Nvidia at the time that happens. Interestingly enough, by the time we get the uh, forward guidance, we'll actually have the futures markets likely closed by the time the forward guidance comes out. So there will be an hour where futures markets are not available, but the stock is in the middle of that forward guidance. So make sure you have the ability to trade your stocks after hours. Now, recent price highlights are also part of research. Nvidia, the August open 174.69, high 184.48, low 168, and a little additional tidbit here. The all-time high 185.22. And we're going to want to look at more information than that. But this is the highlights, and we'll get a little bit further. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide, but the research does get a little bit more in depth. As far as managing risk, we want to what are the risks we're protecting ourselves from? So risks associated with earnings, number one, excessive price movement. So consider an option strategy that may limit the risk that you face. Tom will tell you all about how to do what are we talking about with options? I'm drawing a blank on the word, Tom. When you have two sides of it.
Oh, vertical spreads.
Yeah, spreads. That's the word I was looking for. Just drew a complete blank on that word. But how to work spreads in your favor. Now, another risk is you get the wrong direction. Let's say everybody's expecting good news from Nvidia. We are too. But what happens if it's not good? Like, at what point do we say, "Ooh, darn, that was unexpected"? Because you do get unexpected earnings from time to time. And let me be clear, I don't expect that Nvidia earnings are going to be bad. I have a full expectation that they're going to be good. But the definition of unexpected is it wasn't expected. So if Nvidia goes the wrong way, if the market moves to the other side of the open of the month, the week, the day, the quarter, the year, be aware of where all those opens are. We talked about Nvidia's open on the previous slide. You can go back and look at it if you want. But be aware of where those numbers are, and that's when things get a little bit heavy. Overweight, underweight, make sure that when you get involved in trading earnings, you don't get too hung up on one, like Nvidia, because we don't want to end up carrying too high of a position. We want to have a nice, even portfolio. So always keep track of that. If you turn around and you find out that 90% of your portfolio is Nvidia, well, quite frankly, that's probably been a good thing this year. But you need to make sure that you got a little bit of a spread there where you're taking care of the entire portfolio and not just putting it all on one stock. So these are some of the main articles of risk. Also, have in your mind a number, a percentage move, because that open of the week, the open of the month, the open of the day, the quarter of the year, if you've had a big climb up to earnings, if we're up 10% on the climb, are you really going to risk 10% back down? I don't think so. I think you need to understand what is a reasonable movement on earnings for that particular stock. I'll give you a tidbit here. This is just a little highlight. The last time Nvidia reported earnings from the open of the day and it was an upward move, the high of the next day, so open of the day Wednesday, high of the day Thursday, that was the entirety of the move, it was 5.96%. So if Nvidia moves more than 6% against you, you're on the wrong side. So understand that. So the wrong direction is something you need to address. We don't like to address it because we like to be very positive and mentally tough about what we're looking at. But assessing the risk beforehand is what you need to do. So keep those numbers in mind. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide here. Have a plan. Now, listen, the plan is going to be different for each different stock, but there are a few questions you have to ask. Number one, are you trading, investing, or trading to invest? What's your time frame here? If you're looking to get involved in Nvidia so that you can have a position that you want to hold for the next 5 to 6 years, you're going to approach it differently. If you're looking to be in and out of Nvidia before the end of the day, you're going to approach it differently. If you want to give yourself the opportunity for that to take off and move from trading to investing, the plan is going to be a little bit different. So know what your goal is getting started. Number two, what percentage gain are you looking for? Be reasonable. So again, going back to the last time Nvidia reported earnings, 5.96%. I'm actually going to look for 5%. I'm going to, hedge that down a little bit. I want to see if we get a 5% move. I think that would be ideal for Nvidia as a stock. What am I basing that on? Previous performance, although past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So let's come down to time checkoffs. understand as you're working the trade, what are you checking off here? So are you happy with the position at 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week? Don't get greedy. Stick to the plan. You make the plan for a reason, make it work. So that's the big intro I got for you today. Let's go over to our next slide, and I want to get the opinion of Tom Busby. Well, first of all, we're going to look at the newsletter. So weekly trade letter here released Monday after the close. Again, this is important. It doesn't go out Sunday night, it goes out Monday after the close. So we have an opportunity to see that first day of the market, see what it's setting up. It's going to be a broad market update. Get through all the noise. Look at key news for the week, like Nvidia, like tomorrow morning's GDP, like the PCE, all the news that actually matters. That's what we're going to be focused on. Key earnings to watch, aka Nvidia, but also a few others throughout the week. And if you have the newsletter, and if you don't have it, go ahead and click on that link that Jonathan just posted out, dtitrader.com/weekly, or you can call in 904-706-3532. This is going to be where we're paying attention to all the little things that are going on. There are items that are reported that you don't necessarily pay that much attention to because maybe it doesn't affect your market. Just a half hour ago, 45 minutes ago, EIA petroleum status came out. Knowing that, if you're trading crude, kind of important. Weekly Magic 5 stocks, I mentioned those a little bit earlier from the newsletter. Archer Daniels Midland, Tesla, Roblox, TQQ, SPY. Those are the stocks that Tom is looking at and focusing on. And if you're following along with him, it's a good idea to know what they are before he starts talking about them. And you get that with the T-Buzz weekly trade letter. And of course, special opportunities, gold, GLD. Right now, 312.10. Continuing to move higher, just went up to 312.15. They opened at 311.39. And if you were on this weekly newsletter, you know the number you were looking for was 311.50. We passed that this morning. So, Tom, you got that special opportunity working out pretty well today.
Yeah, Chuck, I got one of the students told me, he said he takes this, puts it on a clipboard because, you hear so much as a trader throughout the week, but the nice thing about the newsletter, you got a written document, sort of an executive form, and you can sit there and look, say, oh yeah, gold, here it is, let's break it out, and you don't forget about it. And that's one reason I think the success of it. And like I said, Chuck, we're over 450 people that like it. We have a Telegram room, and like I said, on Wednesdays, Chuck will do a what we will call an analysis and interpretation of what we said on Monday and how it's looking for the week. So that's an additional thing that will be posted inside the Telegram room every Wednesday. So it's getting bigger, Chuck. It's getting bigger. There's a lot of people in there, so we gotta make sure they're up to speed on what we're thinking.
Yes, sir. All right. So what do we got next? What's our next slide here, Jonathan? Where are we going? In my opinion, this is where I think this is the heart of the Train and Trade program, Tom, because now what is your opinion of what we're seeing in the market?
Well, my opinion hadn't changed since July the 21st. In fact, I've saved all my workspaces named at July 21st to remind me what I said. I said after July 21st, the market was going to head higher for the second half of the year with a target price equal to about 17%, which is, if you go back and look over 50 years, that would be a record. And I think we're in line to do that, especially since we've held together so well. And now we're about to start an interest rate series of cuts. That's going to spur things on. The big, beautiful bill is going to get out into the economy. People are finding out the news was all wrong. There's a lot of good things inside that bill that help companies and individuals. And Chuck, did you know that the last quarter of last year, real earnings were down like 2.5%? And the first quarter of this year, real earnings were up 3%. So you had like a 5.5% swing in working people's money. which is huge if it happened, it happened in that first 3 months. So if that keeps growing, I think we truly are going into the golden age, the golden age of being involved. Don't sit on the sidelines. Take time. Pay attention to your finances. Be part of it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot to pay attention to in terms of how this market's developing and what's going on. And with GDP and the PCE reports coming up the next 2 days, those are going to be vitally important to how we understand what the next step is. So yeah, we got a lot going on here.
Oh, Jonathan wanted to put this in there. I've been teaching SPX and XSP, and I wanted to show people, even on a Wednesday, using what I taught you. This was an option I bought at $2. It's now $4.24, but this is on the SPX. This is such a powerful program, and I'm taking my time to get everybody up to speed. But clearly this morning, between long, short, or out, you had to be long, and that's the value of it. That's what, about 100%. Not bad for a morning's work, but pay attention to those. If you're in that program, watch that tape we did yesterday, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9:45 for another live session. But anyway, I thought that was pretty good. And speaking of that, I don't know if you saw it. I posted early this morning at 5 o'clock. I bought a jackpot trade in my interactive brokers at 5 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't believe I did that, and I posted it. I said, yeah, let's do a jackpot trade. That's another little trade I'm gonna teach. But that was done at 5 in the morning, and that's about what I paid for it. Not doing real great yet, but if it keeps going up, it will be a jackpot. So we'll see. Anyway, but we want to share that with everybody. Not too late. We got a few spots left if want to be part of that program, the SPX program.
Yeah, and that's been doing really well. I know we're keeping updates there also on the Telegram channel. So if you are not part of the Telegram channels, make sure you go there, dtitrader.com/Telegram to get more involved. Contact your representatives and tell them what you want to be in, and we'll see if we can get that taken care of for you.
Yeah, if you want to follow this live, you can see it's a same day option. What is that? A 6480 call expiring today. You can follow it live in there. You might go check it. I think it's about 450 right now. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with people.
Okay,
That gets
and
my attention. Now, Chuck, I've always felt this way about our customers and just how important our customers are. And I noticed a couple people really are contributing inside the train and trade. And I want to say thank y'all. And I know other people. I'm going to try to recognize people from time to time. But Jim's been very helpful. He's been posting how well he's done, and Bill's always helpful. Claire, a newer student, I think she loves what we're doing. She got connected to us, and Kevin is first and forthright about how good what we do is. And then Carol, of course, y'all know about. She brought us the heavy dividend stocks at Sawgrass, and a lot of people are participating in this Yield Max and Roundtree, and she's a cheerleader for that kind of investing, but and got me sold on it. So it's a pretty good little team we're building among our students.
Tom, is this the same Carol that's been around for a number of years? I don't want to give away her age, but is this the same Carol I'm thinking of?
Yeah, Carol's. Oh, you're thinking of Carol Weaver.
Oh,
This
yeah.
this is a new Carol.
Okay, all
She's
right.
only been with us about 3.5, 4 years.
Well, that's good. That's good. But yeah, we've got a ton of great customers, and yeah, you're highlighting a few here, but man, the archives, they go back. We got people who've been with us for 20, 30 years, and it's always fun having that sort of a connection with people and that sort of growth and just continuing that development. And we hope that Jim, Bill, Claire, Kevin, and Carol are with us 20 years from now as
Yeah,
well.
and I might have left you off. David obviously is in this list. I see he typed in. You left me out. I didn't mean to, but anyway, thank all of you. We'll try to name you as when I see people post things in here that's really helpful. I like to call you out and say thank you for doing that because we typically copy and paste and show people what you're saying. Just to let you know, we got a lot going on here at DTI, and it's really pretty exciting to be honest about it. So
Yeah, and Carol is just listing off the stocks as you're speaking.
yeah. Now my retirement center, we're over 220 people, folks. Join the retirement center. This is something that you can participate. I'm sharing what I'm doing inside my IRA with you, and I'm doing it through Tasty Trade. They got a program over there that's is the works. You can trade futures, options, and stocks. And my goal is get this number, and it's free. All you got to do is go in and get in the Telegram channel and be counted because we will have some updates to that at certain times. And right now, we're off to a great start. As somebody said, making money. That's what it's all about. But it's free. And you just sort of find out some of the things that I do in there. And nothing too much out on a limb, but just a gradual approach to making money over time. But just click that link and be part of it if you're not part of it. Now, if you need a referral from us and get through the maze, use this or go to Row at DTI Trader, and he will send you the DTI referral link, and that throws you right through. Tom's a friend of mine, and his daughter is actually the compliance officer, so makes it nice that she knows me, and I think she knows that we're going to try to teach you the right way to invest and trade. Mark said anything from Tom for free or to be a no-brainer. You got that right. Well, let me tell you, I wanted to do this in the second half of the year because I am bullish and show people and put it out there and say, this is what I'm doing. You'll see what I'm doing. And not just, there's probably not some better things out there, but at least you'll know and can, I tend to neglect the retirement account. It makes me keep it first and foremost when I do it this way. So that's the benefit I get for sharing it with you.
I did one strike in the money. So then my target had to be like 4.
Now, Monday, you can register for my, I guess, the 21st Labor Day webinar at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. When everybody else is out, I'll be here teaching and trading and talking on Monday. Register at 10. It's usually a big turnout, and I think it's going to be pretty good. Okay, Cherry said, small accounts can open individual margin accounts with no lower limit. That's the way to get the works, let people know. Yeah, you can, if you don't have enough to qualify for the works on the IRA, you can open a regular account using that referral link. Good idea. All right, folks, we've been talking about it. NVIDIA earnings are today after the close. One thing, when Chuck posted those slides, I noticed two numbers. 185 has been the high of NVIDIA, and 169, 168 was the downward limit. So he was giving you what I would call the frame for NVIDIA earnings this afternoon. I don't know if y'all picked up on that, but Chuck has always got some really great information. When I saw it, I wrote down 169 to the downside and 185 to the upside. So that saves me from having to go do a lot of work when I know that I can trust what Chuck put in there, because it will give us a direction of what's going to happen this afternoon. All right, welcome to Train and Trade, and this is getting bigger and bigger. And tell your friends. In fact, if you refer somebody here and send an email after you refer somebody to Train and Trade, we're going to put you into a big drawing when it gets around Thanksgiving time. So if you refer somebody, send an email to us at tbuzzttt at Gmail, and we'll take that and put you in the pot there for a draw. You might win something pretty nice here around Thanksgiving time. Reminder, all trades and trainer trade. If we do any trades today, they'll be posted. Sometimes I do them early, sometimes I do them when we finish, sometimes I do them before we wind up. So you got to hang around, and they'll be posted in here, and then we'll follow those trades inside of our T-Buzz Talk and Trade, which again, a lot of people are picking up and joining the T-Buzz Talk and Trade right there. DTItrader.com/TNT. Now, Jonathan does this portion of our presentation. It's called our foundation. Jonathan, what are you seeing today?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. For if you're, maybe brand new or just don't know what this sheet tells you, we're coming up to the end of August, of course, at the end of this week. What we do here at DTI is follow Tom's process called the first 3 days, or the FTD algo is kind of the nickname we have given it. What it is we track the month open, of course, wherever the stock opens a month. But going further, and let me just say this, if a stock is above the month open, we like it. If it's below the month open, we think you should stay away from buying it until, at the very earliest, it either gets back above the month open or wait till the next month. If you take that an extra step further, we have the first 3 days of the month, the first 3 trade days, which maps out a high and a low. And we've been talking about framing the market, or more than Chuck and Tom have. Well, this is how we frame the market for the month. We'll get a high and low from the first 3 trade days of the month. And then if the stock or S&P in general gets above that first 3 days high, things are looking pretty good. So what you're seeing here, we've got the main indexes, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow, all above the first 3 days of the month. That's why it says long on the sheet here. Pretty simple sheet. 2 columns that say, is it above the high from the first 3 days, or is it below the high or low from the first 3 days? You see the indexes there, and we have crude oil that's short below 65. Silver is long above 36.5 or so.
Yeah, that was a special opportunity in our newsletter, not this week, but last week.
Sure was, yep. And Bitcoin is a little weak here as we close out August. 117,000 is the open of the month of August. So as we head into September, we'll see if Bitcoin can perk up and get back above that month open. A little bit mixed on the tech front. We got AMD that's been short for most of the month, or at least since the middle of the month. I can't remember exactly when it went short, but Nvidia has been long and looks good. Of course, it has earnings after close. Oracle's had a weak month after being strong in recent months. Apple and Amazon both strong this month. We got an example on Apple today. Microsoft is short below its first 3 days, and Micron is long. So it's kind of a mixed bag with technology across the board. Tesla, there's another example in our presentation today on Tesla. It's been long since it's above 312.5. It's up here at 352 as of I updated this about 5 minutes ago. There's Berkshire. It's had a better month this month than in recent months.
Let me make a comment about Berkshire. Y'all remember when it broke 3 months ago? It broke the 3-day low and it stayed down for 90 days. And I almost got to the point I was going to get rid of my shares. And then I gave it, it went higher than Monday's high, so I stayed with it. Now, Berkshire has turned totally around and is above and turn positive here in August. So this is the value of this, not just short term, but long term holdings. Monitor it as far as that cycle.
Palantir has pulled back, a decent pullback this month. It stopped going down. It's above its month open as of today at 155, but it's not ready to continue trending higher yet. Maybe it'll be next month. We'll mark the first 3 days from next month and see what happens. But you can see clear, it's got you out of Palantir. And that's, the value of following this process, the month open in the first 3 days. RTX and Lockheed Martin, both long.
Elon is a stock inside our IRA. Look at that stock, stable and going higher. That's the kind of stock you want in an IRA, isn't it, folks? Who has that in their IRA with me? I'm long that in my IRA. Elon. Pretty patient to hold it. It's been sort of grinding higher.
There's Uber. We had a winner last week and Tuesday power plays on Uber. Good trade. There's your Reddit. Roblox has turned down a little bit. Of course, here's the indexes. And then, of course, your dividend payers here. But the way we use this is it's a lot of use early month to find stocks that are breaking away or breaking down early month. And then typically the next time you'll see a shift in the C's, if you will, you can check around the middle of the month. Then you might have some stocks that are turning around and breaking out in the middle of the month, or vice versa. Stocks that were strong and falling back down at the middle of the month.
Let me remind people that I discovered this back in 2022. If you go back and look then, everybody was telling people to buy. And on the 5th day of 2022, I told everybody, sell everything you got and get short. Go back and look at how powerful that was. Then we started tracking it. And I said, I've got something here on this 3 days because it happens at the first of the month. Month to month, these things will change, but it gives you a head start, especially you just don't sit there blind and watch things happen to you if you follow these numbers like we do. And the nice thing Jonathan did, which I thought was just outstanding, he's created this worksheet that updates. Anytime we update it, if you click that link, yours will be updated. I don't know how that happens, but it's magic to me, and it's pretty cool. And now, the dividend payers that Carol brought to us, I've got a way, rather than just be blindly getting dividends, to know which ones I should be in and which ones I should be out of. Using a 3-day algo. Pretty cool. Any questions about what we call our 3-day algo? You got to learn it and keep it. It'll help you. I mean, if you like making money, that is. I hope you do. Pretty cool. Now, today's focus, we told you, was how to follow the DTI process to make money during trending weeks. Well, listen up. 3 steps. You can remember these 3. Is it above the monthly open? Every ticker that's above its monthly open, I give it the benefit of the doubt, so it must be bullish if it's above its monthly open. That's step number 1. Inside the roadmap, we've got it all identified for you. If you put your ticker into the compass, it'll show you where the monthly open was. Right there, plain to see. Plus, we have our tool MTI to find out what cycle and timing it is to be long. Right there on MTI by DTI. Another great tool that we created to take advantage of the fact. If you look right there, it shows the E-mini this month was up 1.91%, meaning the majority of stocks have climbed this month. So if you're losing money in your portfolio, you got the wrong portfolio. I'd go with DTIs if you're losing money in your portfolio, especially with the general market. So we check the 3-day high, the 3-day low, go further into the process to find out which stocks are starting to trend. Now, Jonathan, it's got the trade tracker. Here's another feature inside the roadmap. Notice it gives you the 3-day high, 3-day lows for any ticker that you want to use. Now, Palantir is a classic case. It was below its 3-day low and high, even though it had a positive Monday, and you can see what's happened today. It's down $3 today. It never fit the criteria. But Tesla, on the other hand, did. Look at Tesla from 312 to the current price, 350. I don't know about you. I'd rather play with the winners, and you're playing with the winners if you're using the roadmap trade tracker. Check the high and low for Monday. This is another step in the process of finding out what's going to trend this week. You saw us do it. We talked about it. And then we were able to identify stocks that were moving out once they got on Trade Tuesday. And right there, you can see Monday high on the trade tracker. It's got it. Look at Apple. There's an example. And Tesla, another example. It's a spotlight feature for following this process. The trade tracker is. Above the monthly open, above the 3-day high, above Monday's high, Apple and Tesla both are standout stocks this week. And we knew it by following this process. Let's look at last week's Tuesday power plays with the trade on Uber. This is how you put it in practice. On Tuesday trade day, Monday's high was 94.40. The 3-day high was 91, meaning that Uber is bullish for the month of August. Monthly opens down at 86, telling you that, hey, it's moving away from its monthly open as August matures. And there it is, the trade we did, right there. There was a trade. I don't know about you, but 14% by following these numbers is worth it. We call that into the winners columns. Now let's ask a few questions. Does the DTI process work? Well, the only way to know it works or not is to follow what I do. So let's just review. In May, we had 93% accuracy, all those trades. That's unheard of. 93% accuracy by following and having the discipline to follow the process. Then June happened. Look what happened in June. 27 winners in June, which made up an unbelievable month. I don't think I ever remember it being that good. That was June. Then I said, hey, it's so good. Let's go get in front of people and have another perfect 2 days. Right there for Sawgrass, an annual program that's got more and more popular. Now, who here attended Sawgrass in person? I'm just curious. Anybody here today that attended Sawgrass? You were there when we made these trades. Look at all those people saying, yeah, I was there. Hey, Laura, Susan, Gary. July, we came back with 86% accuracy. Nice July. And to finish out August, we're about 85% accuracy. Pretty good month. That's a lot of trades, which means it's statistically solid when you look at all those numbers and look at all those wins. Now, we're calling today Wednesday of Gold. Wednesday of Gold. Can you get involved with all the program? We're going to call it the Golden Wednesday. So listen up, folks. We're going to limit this to 5 people. I can't do this for everybody, but 5 people that can chicken, fish, or steak, make a decision, will get a heck of a discount by joining our Gold program. This program is a $10,000 annual program. But today, those 5 people that take action, guess what? You will be there. With Gold, you have access to all my service for an entire year, with the exception of the small classes I do and the futures education. Let's review the services. All those trades, T-Buzz All-Stars, the granddaddy of them all, $9.97 for a year, worth every penny. Sunrise Signals, a new program I created using the computer technology to deliver early morning trends, $9.99 for 1 year subscription. My Tuesday Power Plays. Oh, I got a special spot in my heart for this one because this will teach you how to trade options the correct way. $9.97 for a 1 year subscription. Weekend Profits Club. This is my go-to trade on Thursday and Friday of the week. Heck of a track record here too. I like making money over the weekend. You should too. Now the One Ticker program is where I specialized on the QQQ. Jonathan said, Tom, you realize you got 20 trades in a row, you made money on? I said, no, I didn't realize it. This program's so high, it'll scald you if you touch it. The One Ticker payout program. Roadmap software, I say don't trade without it. We've been in development now for 25 plus years. It gets better and better every year. This gives you, if you're a Gold, you get the Roadmap software for 1 year. MTI by DTI, and this is probably the deal of the day. It's a lifetime subscription, but you get it inside the Gold program because once it leaves the box, we can't bring it back. MTI by DTI, one of the most successful charting programs ever developed. Simple rules and simple success. That's huge. My Moonlight Trading Club, $12.97 for 1 year subscription. Afterburner Alerts. This is a program dedicated to taking care of the 3-day algo, $9.97 for 1 year subscription. That's a cool logo there. Talk and Trade. Now I had to admit, I'm sort of partial to Talk and Trade because I can talk directly to you. It's $2,400 for a 1 year subscription. Talk and Trade. This is the program that keeps on giving. Always in touch. My small option trading program, 1 year subscription, $9.97. My new program, the beta program, $2,000 for 1 year subscription. That's SPX zero dated options. They've got that in there today. Wow. Only 5 people though is going to take advantage of this. All those will add up to about 15,000. So much more value for additional education services over the course of a year. You got a plan. You're working with us. You're ready to take advantage of all this stuff together, and we'll be, as we get from one strategy to the next, you'll be participating if you're a Gold member. By the way, I like the slides. Now here's the beginning of what we offer in the Gold membership. Got our own Telegram channel room for you. Now, all Gold members can attend our annual Sawgrass Workshop free of charge. Wow. Only 5. I keep saying only limited to 5. You get access to any new programs online I come up with over the next year. Now, it excludes futures education. However, oh man, look what they did here. Those that sign up today, let me read that again, get 3 months to try out the Futures First education. Goodness gracious, you're just giving away the farm. Now, if you're interested in this Gold membership, again, 5 people. I've got my salespeople online. Type your name, email, and phone number into chat, and they will reach out to you if you're interested in being in the Gold membership. Oh, by the way, heavily discounted today. Did I tell you that? I didn't, did I? If you call and take one of those 5 spots, you're getting an overall 25% discount off the 10 grand. So 7,500 will get you through the door. 5 of you will qualify. Yes, it does, Bill. It includes anything I offer. Absolutely. Think about what you're going to get if you take one of those 5 spots, but you got to speak up now. Type your name, email, and phone number in there if you want to talk to them and take one of these spots down. Yes, Cherry, you can. I say get on board. Now, Carol says she paid 10 grand. She never heard me talk about a discounted buying gold at 75. Well, Carol, I limit it now in the day, right? Okay. Make sure you know it's only 5. Now, I'm going to ask Adam to post Barbara at DTI Trader, Andraka at DTI Trader, and Kareem's email in here if you got any questions. Can anybody think of anything else that we could come up with that make this as a no-brainer for you? I will not give golf lessons. Will not give golf lessons. Brad said he's signing up, but he needs a pink Cadillac. Get the tools, get on board. There they are. There's the people. If you want to send an email, reach out to them. But again, this is offered today and today only. John, if you'll put your name and email in here, I'll call you. Put your name and email. Look for a call from 251. I love talking to you. Got my card out. See this blue card? I'll write your name on here and I'll give you a call later on today. John. Throw that phone number up there, John. Nobody else will get it. I'll write it down. Where you live, John? Oh, Atlanta, okay, perfect. Let me give you an example. If you join the Gold membership, and you know I've been really talking about the SPX, and I got the beta. Once we get out of the beta phase, September 15th, and let's say that the beta program is producing 10,000 a week. Let's just hypothetically say that, okay? If it's producing 10,000 a week, you will never be able to buy or have that included in a Gold or anything else. I'll separate it out because I am eaten up with the things that we could do with the SPX SSP. So here's a way to come in through the back door. If you already bought it, you're getting your discount there for the Gold. So it's like getting double dose of it. Anyway, I wanted to explain that because I'm really going to take that to new levels. I would think if I'm right, that one program would be 5,000 a year. If I'm right. Got to prove it first, though. I can talk numbers all day long, but I got to prove it, not only to you, but to myself, and show you how it works. That option I told you about this morning is at 470. Yeah, tomorrow's fine, Dave. Give me a call at that time in the morning. Any questions about anything you want to ask me? We covered a lot today. Do y'all think today's train and trade was as good as I think it was? It was pretty good, wasn't it? I'd like to take my hat off to Chuck. He did a great job. He is gonna bring some of that knowledge to bear, and I think we're gonna have some good times. And probably won't, Sherry. I probably won't. We just hit $5.10 on that option. I think I might have a jackpot trade going. All right. I think what they're going to do is to make sure you heard me right. What they're planning to do is they're going to replay this, and I think you'll get a lot out of it by listening to it. In fact, I'm going to try to listen to it too. So, that'll be good, Bill. That'll be good. Well, thank you, and let's make some money together. I think the S&P, nobody asked me this question. Tom, how high you think the S&P is going to go? Write this number down. I'm going to tell you today. 65.45. Write that number down. 65.45. Now you know.